Today, I want to cover off how this client made over 200 grand equity in the space of 2 years. Before I jump into that, hey, I'm Nathan from Envision Property, a Brisbane based buyer's agent where I help time poor families and investors get into the market. In these case studies, I like to share client results which will help you understand different strategies that you can implement yourself to help you buy your next property for the right price. So this client situation, he was based in a town called Gladstone. It's been a while since I purchased this property for a client back in 2020. So he was based in Gladstone and he was looking at the Brisbane market, and it was just too crazy. At that point, the market was on fire and it kept on going for the next 2 years, but he just didn't know where to buy was the first point. And then he also didn't know how much to pay for properties. He didn't know what style of property he was looking for to add into his portfolio. So then, and plus he was located, 4 hours away. So it was a bit of logistically, it was a bit hard for him. So then he ended up coming on board. So he actually found me on one of my Facebook posts that I posted, which was pretty cool because I was only just starting off then, and I started doing some Facebook posts, and his budget was a maximum of 600K. So he drove down, we met him face to face, and then he's like, "Yep, really liked my energy and the way that I was operating at the time," and he came on board. So this particular property, we managed to pick it up. It was 12 k's from the CBD, in a suburb that I was really familiar with. I was buying a lot of properties in this area because I've definitely found it was very undervalued at the time, and now it's had a massive spike, and all of those clients have done really well. One client has cashed out of his property and he's made $390,000 in 2 years. So this area is still really good now too. And the thing I liked about this property was we got it for $550,000, and straight off the bat he was renting it for $500 per week. So he was pretty close to that 5% rental yield. He still owns it to this day. He then used that equity that he made from that property to then go buy his next bigger family home, which he's enjoying now. So I'll jump on now, I'll share my screen, I'll show you the property, run you through the ins and outs of it, and I'll also share you how I purchased this property. It was actually an on-market purchase, and this client trusted me throughout the whole process, and he got a really good result. So this property was located in the Hills area, so northwest side of Brisbane, where we've got very high income earners. There's good school catchments in and around this area. There's a Ferny Grove train station that's getting upgraded. There's a major development happening around there. And these are areas that are going to get very influenced by the Olympics coming up. But I was buying a lot around this area because I felt it was very undervalued. We could buy in there around the 550 mark, but it's changed since then. So this was the property that we purchased for this client at that given time back in 2020. Got it for $550,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 607 square meters. So what happened was the property went live, and then that Wednesday they had a midweek open home. I then went there straight away on the same day. The lineup was down the street. This area was so hot at that time. So, went through, done the open home, and, we put in the offer straight after. So there was about me and 2 other buyers that were like, "Hey, let's not wait until Saturday. Let's start negotiating on it straight away." Caught when talking to the agent, they want 550. So we put in an extra 4,000, knowing that's where they wanted. And then I went for the takeaway, just to say, "Hey, here's our offer. We're then going to take it away." Hats off to the buyer because, he really trusted me that point in time. He was based in Gladstone. He'd already been looking for months. So this was very overwhelming for him. It may have seemed like a big number at the time for him as well, but he just put his trust into me. And I just said, "Hey, look, if we buy at this price, I guarantee you you're going to get capital growth for it because all of these properties around the corner have sold. This is how tight this suburb is at the time. There's very low stock." And also there was other factors that I outlined with this property where there was the rooms downstairs. Yes, they weren't legal, but they really helped with getting that higher rent return. Once we settled on this property, he got over $500 per week. So we almost pushed and got close to a 5% yield. And over the last couple of years, that would have been neutral geared or even positive geared slightly. But since then, the market has boomed, and that property could easily sell for around 750. If you just look at your 3-bed to bath, there's one that sold for 860, but that's probably not comparable. That's on a main road at 615. But look, 3-bed 1-bath 740, 672. It needs a major renovation. So we picked ours up for 550,000, 760. So there's roughly around that 200 grand of equity uplift. And since then, I've sat down with him and we've purchased another property anyway, because he managed to use this equity to buy another property because it was yielding so well. The cash, and it was cash flowing so well, he was able to get another property deal. So it's not always about buying properties that are off market. It's about that speed and knowing how much to pay for a property. This is probably out of many of the properties I've actually purchased that's been on the market. So it's about, we went there on the Wednesday and we got it under contract that night, and we didn't wait until Saturday where we would have been there would have been so much more competition. So playing your cards right, moving quickly, and now got him a really nice asset, knowing your area, managed to get him in an area that gave him more capital growth in the other areas, and now he's laughing. In the space of 2 years, he's built 200 grand worth of equity. He's got an asset that's looking after itself. And over the next 10, 20 years with the Olympics coming and everything like that, that property would be $1 million property. So getting into your property a lot quicker, knowing where to buy can work wonders when you're buying your next investment property. I hope sharing this style of property and the area helps when you're buying your next investment property. 3 things I always outline: look at the area you're buying in, look at the style of house you're looking for with strategy, and the third part, make sure the seller's distressed or you're in a position to buy that property at the right price. If you are looking to buy an investment property in the Brisbane area, feel free to reach out on my website, Envision Property. We can jump on, do a free strategy session where I can show you all these different strategies you can implement in the Brisbane market and go off and do it yourself. Or you could potentially be one of the small number of clients that I work with to help you get into your next investment property.